Okay. It's been a while. Feels like it's been a while. But I'm back. Almost 10:30 p.m. US Central Time. And I have one pending challenge. This is going to be a viewer challenge stream. So let's play this first opponent, rwhyan. I think they were challenging me a few minutes ago, so hopefully they're still here, which they are. Hello to everyone trickling in Twitch chat. Hello to Papsicola in YouTube chat. The Syncopede was first in Twitch chat. Hello, hello. And I will be playing my new opening repertoire that I learned recently from Grandmaster Avati Gregorian of Chessmood. This is the Dutch attack. And yeah, the setup against the London is pretty harmonious for black. Very often there will be ways to kick around the bishop, usually h6, g5. c4 allows me to play bishop b4, and then very likely trade off the bishop, play b6. Wait a minute. Why are... Oh, my thing was hidden. Thank you, Lapdog Millionaire.
Let's go.
Let's go. Also, thank you, Malcolm Reynolds, too. Appreciate the resubs.
You're back just in time for me to give you this.
Oh, happy 5 years. 60 months. Lapdog Millionaire for 32 months. Welcome to Credhead's first time prime. Yeah, hello to everyone in YouTube chat as well. Let me know where you're watching from. See Hector and John, Levi. Hope everyone is having a good evening, or maybe a good morning. It is pretty late for North America. 90 minutes from midnight for me. So h3.
Finally hit 1,700 across the board. Thanks for all your tips and content. Much love.
Oh, that's great to hear. Welcome back to Kaido Chess. Happy 42. Keep it up. The 2000 elo is not too far away. So there's an idea of knight c6 to a5. There's also the idea of like knight d7, knight e4, knight f6. Not sure what I want to commit to. Maybe knight e4 right away. And just attack the pawn.
Back.
Thank you to Backspin. There's a question, when did the stream start? I've been live for just under 4 minutes. So if you're just joining, you're joining very early. This is the first game of the stream. Have a pretty harmonious position. Only 2 minor pieces developed, but they're on good squares. And knight e4 not only attacks the pawn, but in some cases prepares g5. I don't know if I want to castle or keep the king somewhere else. So let's be flexible. Oh, thank you, Gary. Gifting 5. Appreciate that. Got some hype train. So I got my g-pawn push. Do I play g4? Attack the knight, take, take. Knight's going to come to d2.
3 years old. Here's to another 3.
I could also play this, which looks fun. The idea being, I want to play g4, and after takes, I take back with the pawn. Then the file opens, a queen can then come in. Yeah, for those that didn't see, there is a nearly 50-minute lesson on YouTube where Grandmaster teaches me this exact opening weapon for black. And we looked at a position very similar to this. With the kingside pawn storm, the fiend-catted bishop. I don't mind the trade here. It takes, I'll take with bishop. If h4, I can take it. So the file's pretty much guaranteed to open. Oh, thank you, Syncopede. Happy 36 months. 3 years. Got P the pawn for 6 months. Welcome back to James Duggan. Okay, so some challenge on e4. I'm very tempted to just sack and take and try and mate. But yeah, it's maybe worth being patient here. I could take and take. It's actually not entirely clear. If I play too slowly, bishop e7, white gets an e4. I don't want the center to open up with my king stuck on e8. And this still might be the best move, though. Consider the options. There's also, okay, take. It's pretty forcing. Take, and then here. That looks pretty good, honestly. It keeps initiative. Like, white can't really deviate to get to this position. Considering this, or this even. Not in any huge rush to take the pawn. This might actually be preferred. Because if rook g1, then I play knight e4. F2 is going to fall. Now this game is 3+2 and it's rated, so I'm risking some rating. One is going to have to live or die on the increment. E4, so that defends h3, but gives me a center pawn. C5 might be coming, or I'll win on time. Queen f3, just in time, 2.0 seconds. Impressive. Let's play this. Getting low on time too. Let's double up. Take. And mate next move. Okay. All right, that was a fun game. GG to my opponent. Yeah, very felt like a very classic type of game for this Dutch against London. Got the pawn storm. My opponent did resist though. I'm not sure if I had anything better from this position. Engine says black's only slightly better. But slightly better is still a comfortable spot to be. Oh, apparently here white should have played e4. Allow this.
Thank you for the chess.
This would have been interesting. White could have allowed the pawn to get to g2, but then the pawn is a shield for the king. And my king is probably a bigger target here. And honestly, I probably would have played pawn takes pawn. So this could have been a really sharp position if white went into this. Okay, let me give some more thank yous. Thank you, D-Lams. I'm sub for 5 months. Torbald, happy 20 months. Zippy Tuna, first time sub. Papam Franciscus, happy 5 months. So if you want to send me a challenge, we do have the challenge command in both Twitch and YouTube chat. You can type !challenge, and then Nightbot should share the link.
Hi Eric, hi chat. Loving all the great chess content.
Oh, thank you, domarm. Thank you, JJ Dynamite as well.
Rosen has risen. Late. Good to see you again.
Okay, I'm scanning the chats for relevant questions before I move on. There's a question if my brother still plays chess. And my older brother taught me how to play chess, but he never played like in tournaments. He just knew the rules. He's 4.5 years older than me, so he taught me when I was 7 years old. And after I learned, I really got into it. All right, let's accept a random challenge. Playing Chicken King. Again, I'm gonna pre-move e6. We'll play the new opening repertoire. Zippy Tuna is asking pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I don't mind it. I mean, I'm not like strong for ordering it or against it, but if it's good quality pizza, then I'm totally fine with it. I know some people have stronger opinions though. Okay, we have kind of a combination of a Queen's Pawn, London. I'm gonna throw in the bishop check. Oh, Kevin with the super chat. I assume from Canada, who played Nemo the other day. Oh, says, I think I lost in 16 moves. Can you top that? Oh, that could be an interesting challenge to try and... Can I beat Kevin quicker than Nemo can beat Kevin? Yeah, feel free to send me a challenge and let me know your username. Yeah, we have a similar opening to the previous game. Light with the double c-pawns. Again, preparing this attacking setup. Chicken King sounds scary. Chicken King also sounds slightly appetizing. Also sounds like a fast food restaurant. D6, Queen A4, C6. I mean, D6 is usually a move I want to play anyway. So knight maneuvers to D3. It looks a little bit strange, but I don't think I can really punish such a maneuver. I'll just continue doing my thing. Now there's a bit more scope on the diagonal, so pawn is pinned and the bishop is tied down. Kind of inclined to castle. But let's stay flexible. Queen e7, maybe preparing e5. E3. Go ahead and castle. F3. Okay, so that does block the bishop. But when such a move is played, then the center break becomes more attractive. Especially now, because the e-pawn is a bit weaker. If the center opens up, then white's going to be left with some targets to attack. And here, if the bishop retreats, I can take, and then the pawn is pinned and attacked twice. I think with this, I still take. And I'll go for h6. And if bishop takes knight, I don't have to take back. I can first take on e3. And now, yeah, white's position is kind of crumbling. I do allow this check, but can always move over. Oh, Kevin's username is kklassen. Oh, who I think I like accidentally accepted the other day and then aborted. So maybe we are due to play. The name definitely sounds familiar. Yeah, that was recently too. That was like it was after the title arena when I was trying to accept the blindfold 960 challenge, I think. It was a long, long stream. Why don't more people suggest a Dutch? Yeah, the Dutch is it's an opening that I think a lot of people are scared to play because of the gambits that white has. Oops, I didn't see a free bishop. Oh, I didn't even see I was attacking. It was a fork. Actually, white has a lot of issues here. When I took the pawn, I honestly just saw this as a threat, but this and this are also massive threats. So white could have tried to take on f6. I mean, it's still pretty bad, but takes does save the bishop, save the rook. Let's say take back. I'm going to take with knight. I'm still threatening this and this. So maybe white could try this, or even queenside castle. Oh, but c4 is also hanging. Yeah, it's probably not worth analyzing too much. But another success with the Dutch attack. Just to elaborate on the question why people, or why not more people play the Dutch. Because the pure Dutch is f5. And we touched on this on the lesson that's on YouTube, but there's a lot of gambits here between e4 and g4. There's bishop g5 and knight c3, which are also very dangerous lines. So the cool solution to get a Dutch and avoid the gambits is to play e6. Now, if you play this move, you have to be ready for a French, which I am now because I was also taught the so-called French attack. But most d4 players will usually either play c4 or play a London setup, and then f5 can be played on move 2. And yeah, it's an interesting opening solution to avoid the dangerous gambits. So, yeah, my first opponent was the first person who challenged me. This last opponent was a random challenge. Now we're going to do a non-random challenge, if I can find it. Where's Klassen? Here we go. Okay. I'm black again. Okay, perfect. I'll pre-move e6. The challenge is to win. Wait, the challenge is to win in 16 moves or 15 moves to beat Nemo, or to beat Nemo's length of game. Do I play this or do I try a Stafford? We've never played before. I'm going to play a Stafford. The Stafford, if white accepts the gambit, then there's a lot of traps which finish the game in less than 15 moves. Oh yeah, was Nemo white or black? That also kind of makes some difference. We're already 3 moves in. Have to develop quickly. D3, opponent's playing safe. I'm playing aggressively. We have somewhat of a reverse fried liver. Thank you, Enyatap. I think taking with knight is better because the bishop is going to be very useful. Just piercing through the dark squares. Oh, thank you, GI Joel in Twitch chat. I see your comment. Yeah, I'll have to talk about it later. I had a fun day yesterday. I played an over the board tournament. That was Scrabble and not chess. It was a fun experience. Yeah, let's get some or get through some more games before I talk about the Scrabble. Okay, so we're on move 8. If I want to win in the next 8 moves, I have to develop more pieces. So probably like this, and this is my plan. Okay. The problem is white's still doing okay there. But what else can I do? I guess this is still worth trying. Aggressive move. Yeah, queen f2. I don't think I can win in 4 moves. And checkmate in 4 moves is probably not even possible. f5. c5 is a blunder. There, take. Castling. Yeah, probably just take. White's actually doing totally fine here. Apart from being down a pawn. Okay, let me just try and win the game and not flag. Down on time. Have to watch out for this idea. I don't want to accidentally get checkmated. Okay, I'll castle. Preparing this, maybe preparing this too. Hmm. Oh, there's almost a really cool tactic. Okay, let's start with this.
Hey Eric, I was on the Chicago Chess Center website and saw a photo of you on their donate page.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know I was there in photo form. Thank you, Ian Draws 69. I'll have to check it out. Okay, so I'm attacking the pawn. I'm also aligning with the king and queen. So I'm actually threatening to take here, winning a pawn and creating the pin. So that's a sneaky move. Defending. I have this move, take and then check, but then king f2. Or even rook takes. Okay, let's play knight c2, I guess. We're going to trade queens. I'm hitting the rook. Going into some endgame. Let's keep harassing the rook. Check. 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 Somewhat of a windmill. Check. Okay. GG. survived much longer than the game with Nemo. It was interesting. I'm actually wondering if white had bishop h5. Probably I can just castle there. I don't think I was ever in trouble. But yeah, bishop h5 would have been the best move. Castle. Wait, white can go for this. Takes king f8. Ah, then move the queen. And then save the bishop. Okay, good game to kklassen, aka Kevin. Yeah, generally, I mean, of course, the best move is to take the pawn, especially in this position. d3, allowing knight g4, basically puts white in a situation where d4 is the best move, and then it's a transposition into a basically reverse fried liver, and you don't want to take this pawn, allowing the true fried liver, but knight a4 is the best move here. There's a question about 7 bishop h6. Oh, why not bishop d4? To be honest, I just remember that this is one of the best moves. Bishop d4 is probably more natural to hold on to the pawn. And this is something like I looked at a long time ago, but there should be compensation if we allow knight takes. Yeah, according to the engine, d6 here, and then the bishop is nice here because it prevents white from castling. And the plan for white is probably to play f5 and this and this. Maybe similar to what happened in the game. Oh, thank you, Kevin. It says, I'm glad I semi-redeemed myself. I'm curious what happened in the game with Nemo. But yeah, this was a reasonable game. Question if I can play bishop e3 after c3. Yeah, I was briefly considering this. It's almost a cool tactic to like pin the queen to the king, sack the bishop, and then go for discovered attack and pin. The problem with this is king f2, and I'm not winning the queen. And I just sacked a bishop and my knight is trapped. So it would have backfired. So anyway, let's keep moving on. I have 32 pending challenges. I'll play a random challenge. Playing RS 2700. This is the first game I'm white, and I want to play a new opening weapon. So I'm going to play e3. And we'll either have a reverse French or reverse Dutch, which is basically just a bird opening. At the very end of my last lesson with Avatik, he offered this as a way to get more experience in the French and Dutch structures. It's also a way to just throw the opponent off like any sort of opening prep, because most players don't study this or study how to play against this setup. Yeah, the so-called mouse slip opening. Usually, most people who play e3 intended to actually play e4. I think I can play this right away and just force the exchange. If the bishop were to retreat, I would trap it. I want to get the attack. Thank you to Poishnek. Happy 26 months. A5 is a fine move. I think I want to play A4, maybe A3. A4 invites bishop b4, which is slightly annoying. I think a3 is a bit more solid. This allows a4, but yeah, a4 can be met with b4. What's the Sicilian type setup called again? This is not a Sicilian. This is, I guess, a bird setup. I think this specific structure, I've heard it referred to as a polar bear, but I might be misremembering the exact setup. The polar bear might involve some weird knight maneuver. Also, rook g8 took away the last safe square for the knight, so now this knight is trapped. But there are some like Sicilian setups which maybe have this, but like inverted colors. So there's a dragon where you fianchetto your kingside bishop. Also, do I want to trade bishops or do I want to close the center? Or do I want a castle maybe? Castling looks like a reasonable option. It does look scary because black is already kind of pawn storming. But b4 is met with a4, a4 is met with b4. What is c5 met with? Maybe c4. Or e4. Let's play e4. And black's king is in the center, so it's also a potential target. And if d4, I can play e5, hitting the bishop and the rook. Oh yeah, for anyone who's just joining, asking how to challenge, you can type xlam challenge in chat. It'll share a link. You do need a Lichess account, but that's free to make. And I do prefer blitz challenges, so 5 minutes or less. I don't mind if it's rated or unrated. I think so far most of the challenges, if not all, have been rated. So maybe I'm gaining fractions of rating points with the win so far. Wow, king e7. Delayed bong cloud. Very random move, but I'm not sure if I can punish this directly. Could take like f5. I think taking makes some sense. Yeah, I definitely want to use half open e-file. Probably get the rook to e1. Assuming black will take back with a pawn. Maybe throw in this move. Hmm. And this feels a little bit slow, but let's do it. It's a better square for the rook. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Evie. Appreciate the raid. How's it going? Hope you had a good stream. Shout out to Evie. If you're just joining, I'm playing some chess. I have a good looking position here. I have a check. I have a rook sacrifice. which probably doesn't work. F5 still looks enticing. All right, let's go for F5. Want to open more lines to get to the king. Thank you to Queen GE3 mate. Happy 51 months. Okay, there's still this check. There's this check. Let's plop the queen in the center. Knight e4 is coming. Life is pretty good here. Oh, Evie is a good singer and sings while playing chess. Oh, that sounds cool. That's something I'm incapable of doing, like singing and playing chess. I have to check out the content. Yeah, both my knight and my queen have been plopped into the center. Check again. I guess I still want a complete development. Bishop g2. Get the rook in. And there's this check. Yeah, this looks nice. Because I hit the king and the rook. King f8 is likely, and then knight d6. Hitting this and this. But oh no, my rook. Someone call an ambulance, but not for me. Yeah, nice game. Another fun example of attacking with this structure.
Oh no, my prime sub.
Like usually when a dark squared bishop, or when you have a dark squared bishop and you also have lots of pawns on dark squares, it's usually a bad bishop. But in this case, the bishop complements the pawn chain, and yeah, of course, the pawns helped trap the knight. Thank you to the Modern Fortune Teller. Happy 3 years. Got a few sub anniversaries today. Sing for us, please. I don't think you want to hear it. When I was like in grades 1 through 4, pretty sure I was forced to sing in like our school choir. Have some like suppressed, I don't want to say suppressed trauma, but it was not my most favorite subject in school. Thank you to Pump Up the Jamie. Happy 1 year. Okay, let's keep it going. Accept random challenge again. Playing domarm. I feel like I saw this name recently in Twitch or YouTube chat. Name looks familiar, but we've never played before on Chess. I forgot to pre-move e6, but okay, we have another Dutch, this time with g3. Let's develop like this, and I'll go for Stonewall. So against this g3 setup, this is kind of the trigger for black to play the Stonewall. And it does make this bishop very sad, but the structure is nice in blunting the power of the g2 bishop. And the goal is to play bishop d6 and castle and queen e7, etc. Knight h3 is a high-level move. It's actually a good move, because if I play this, there's bishop f4. Not actually sure how I'm supposed to deal with this. Bishop d6, bishop f4. I wonder if I can just play h6, g5. Then knight f4 threatens knight g6. But then g5. Okay, let's try it. This might be like very weakening. I mean, I am kind of just pushing pawns before developing most of my things. But this setup restricts the knight and the bishop. Okay, white maybe wants to play this. But can't do so with the d-pawn undefended because I can take and hit the d-pawn. So it might make more sense to play bishop e7. Bishop d6, e4. There's also c5, which is interesting. Try and open the diagonal. I'm really violating principles, but I guess I'm having fun. Because there's so many other opening lines where if white plays f3, then it makes sense to try and open this diagonal. Play knight c6. Want to develop ASAP. If takes, I can play d4 and then recapture. There's a question from Pluto Pulp. Big hole on e5, how do you deal with it? In this case, my opponent's not really exploiting e5. But when they do, you can usually like play around it. Just let them have an outpost. Yeah, this is working out well. I'm tempted to play queen b6, keep my bishop. But let's grab material. Now it's time to give this bishop a life. Like when you play the Stonewall, then this bishop basically hibernates for the first stage of the game. But eventually the seasons change and the bishop comes out of its den. b4 is coming. I really want to break with e5. Okay, let's start by taking and then maybe d4. Now the bishop has a life. If c6, I have rook c8. Queen b3, I have this or this. e5 is still somewhat of a hole. So I'm up a clean exchange, rook for knight. The dream is to play this and this. Let's start with queen d5. Then rook e1. Then knight g4. Ooh. There's also this and this. There's also this, which is kind of more normal, but then queen c4. Let's play queen d5. It sets up this and this. Oh, that defends. We are playing 3+2. There. This is risky. Take. This should be good for black somehow. I mean, we're trading. I'm still up material. Maybe threatening this. And these knights are kind of scary. I'm expecting rook b1. Take another pawn. This pawn's also hanging. The rook might come in. Take another pawn. Just have to watch out for like annoying knight and rook coordination. This knight is tied down defending this knight. This knight is blocking the rook check. So everything should be okay. And all I need to do is get my rooks into white's territory to checkmate the king. So probably move the knight, get the rook to the b file. If h3, I'll play h5. Yeah, this e5 square did become a small issue, I guess, later in the game. But I guess this is an example of playing around the square where I let white have their happy knights. Focus on other areas. So king e2, check here. Check here. It's really close to mate. I'm gonna start with this. I do give the pawn, but then I get the check. Then rook d2. This rook wants to enter. Threatening mate in 1. Okay. Good game. Yeah, white created some good counterplay, especially after losing material. Yeah, maybe I got a little bit carried away. And queen d5 was probably too much. I'm not sure. Like, if knight d5 to go in here, then queen c4 looks kind of annoying. And the d and e pawns are targets. What was I supposed to do? Yeah, queen d5 was inaccurate. Knight d5 is best. And then this. Ah, sack the pawn? Wow, some cool tactics with the discovered attack on the d file. And if take's hitting this, I can take and hit this. Oh, good game to my opponent. See you in Twitch chat. Yeah, very good fight. So white was actually like doing okay. Was white coming back? Maybe not. Oh yeah, here. G4 was a mistake. White has full compensation. White's actually better after knight ce5. But it's a very difficult position to like figure out what's going on. Is there a queue for challenges? Kind of. Like when people challenge me, it creates this long list. But I'm not going in order. For the most part, I'm accepting random challenges. So if you do challenge me, then there will be a small chance that you get to play. But for most people, you have to be patient and maybe kind of lucky if you want a game. Let's keep it going. Ooh, this is a rated rapid game. Okay, I'll play. Again, I prefer blitz challenges, but rapid I'll still play. I won't abort. Hopefully it'll be more instructive. We'll play another reverse Dutch. Delayed bird. And g6. Yeah, this is discouraging the b pawn from moving. So we'll probably have a reverse Stonewall. Oh, good night to good night to Ian Draws. Hope you sleep well. All right, let's just develop in the traditional fashion. No need to play c3. But after c5, yeah, c3 is usually the idea to reinforce the pawn. Also, if c4, the bishop can drop back to c2. Do you ever close your eyes while calculating? Sometimes. I mean, sometimes I blink, which is a very brief instance of the eyes closing. But yeah, probably more so during like high level tournaments. Sometimes I'll close my eyes if the board is like just a visual distraction. And I've played enough chess over the course of my life to have the chessboard pretty well ingrained in my mind. So the fact that my eyes are closed, I can still like visualize the board pretty well. I guess I can compare it to like kind of visualizing your home. I assume most people can have like a mental picture of their home in their mind and know where all the furniture is and know how to get from room to room. And it's maybe a similar comparison to like playing blindfold chess. You just kind of have a decent sense of where everything is, and then you can start moving around the furniture. And with most positions, there's like a logical harmony with the pieces. Like some chess positions are harder to visualize because there's a lot of chaos. This position, even though the center looks chaotic, this is a pretty common structure, so it's not too difficult to kind of internalize. So I hope some of that makes sense. It's a question from Pluto Pulp. Or no, that was a question from TM Isaac, but then there was some follow-up questions too. Okay, let me focus on next few moves. I'm actually thinking about not trading. Yeah, let's avoid the trade. I do maybe want to advance the g-pawn and play bishop h4. There's a question, are you going to get through most of the challenge list? No. I currently have 26 pending challenges, now 27. We'll get a handful of more names though. Yeah, if I were to trade knights, like takes and takes, then f-pawn would be free to move. So in some sense, this knight is a bit restrictive to black's other things. And this is what we call superfluous knights. Actually, we both have superfluous knights. And sometimes they support each other, but sometimes they get in the way of each other. What do you think of the Leningrad Dutch? I think the Leningrad is like more common than what I was taught with like the B3 setups and the Stonewall. But it's not a variation I've explored that much, so I don't think I know enough about it to form opinions on it. For some reason, taking with e-pawn feels more natural. But I'm having trouble explaining why. Because taking with c-pawn also like keeps more pawns in the center. Because there is some benefit to opening this diagonal. b4 is not a break. I'm going to take with this. It opens up the queen a little bit, gives me the e3 square to work with. It's hard for black to achieve b4 too. The bishop helps control. And this pawn is tied down. Like, black can't easily play a5 without losing b5. Oh, there was a question from Pluto if I've ever practiced visualization. And the answer is yes. I mean, I've played blindfold chess, which is one form of practicing visualizing the chessboard. When I was younger, I mean, one of the main ways to practice is to like calculate, like try and think ahead without moving the pieces on the board. So naturally, you do that when you're trying to solve difficult puzzles that involve like multi-move combinations. All right, let's put the bishop here first. I'm not sure if I want to commit to this. Are you not scared of stream sniping? Usually I'm not. Even though this is like a slower and rated game. Everything I'm saying so far, I mean, it can't really... It's not going to hurt me if my opponent knows what I'm thinking. And it's probably not going to be too helpful for black.
Happy Independence Day.
Oh, thank you, RTR Obama. A few days away from the 4th of July. Although now we're approaching a moment where things might get tactical. Sometimes when things get tactical, I say less to avoid potential stream sniping, but yeah, black wants to play this, so I'm kind of inclined to play a3. Keep it positional. And king h1 also comes to mind as just a very natural improving move. Especially if I'm going to play g4, and then the king is usually happier here. Also getting off diagonal of the queen. Yeah, if you're just joining, I'm playing... From the black side, I'm playing the Dutch attack and French attack. From the white side, I'm playing e3 first move, which will usually go into a reverse Dutch or French. So this came from a reverse Stonewall Dutch. Or maybe we just call this a Stonewall from a different move order. So doing fine on time. Yeah, my plan is to play g4 and probably g5 and generate some tactics. Rook c7. So this over defends d7. I should note, if I took the knight, black could take back and I don't have the fork. If I take this knight, it just allows black to attack me. So, is it time for g4? Probably is. It's actually a good sign that most of, or at least some of black's things are on the queen side. And most of my things are on the king side. So mathematically, I should have more attackers than black has defenders. I really want to play this, but then there's this. And then it gets crazy. Have to calculate. I think bishop e7 is actually playable. I'm not sure. Rook e8. I could trade knights, 95. Gonna take a moment here. This move comes to mind. Idea rook f7, bishop d8. There's king f7. Also, that line's probably not great for me. So what to do? Black is kind of threatening this. Actually, two candidate moves that come to mind. f5 and g5. f5 is a bit more confrontational. g5 is a bit more restrictive. f5 combines better with this bishop. Yeah, let's play f5. Really don't see anything wrong with it. And this position actually demonstrates why king h1 was useful. Because if my king were still on g1, black could take, and then take, and then take, and my pawn is pinned. I wouldn't be able to take back. Also, now if black takes with the g-pawn, I take back, and the rook is ready to come to g1. So multiple benefits for having the king in the corner. And now f6 is less attractive for black because it weakens this and this. They're both pressured by the pawn. Black could maybe try and get away with taking twice, like take, take, take. But of course it's risky with the g-file opening. There's a request, can you play the Ponziani, please? The title of the stream is playing new opening weapons. Ponziani is an old opening weapon of mine. So might have to wait until a different stream. Take with pawn or knight? If I take with knight, I have to be ready for f6. If I take with pawn, I'm then threatening f6. If I take with pawn, there's maybe, no, this doesn't quite work. Let's take a moment. Some crazy lines here. Take. I'm reluctant to take with the pawn because the bishop has more potential to open, even though d4 is not immediately possible. And this is where I'm not calculating out loud because yeah, I wouldn't want potential sniping. Take. I think this does lead to more fun. Let's play this. It's definitely the riskier option. And this will be turning into a blitz game. In both just over 3 minutes.
Do you have a favorite among your new openings?
Oh. I guess I do really like the positions. I guess the positions I got the first 2 games of the stream with the Dutch attack or the Fianchetto bishop on b7. Those are maybe the most enjoyable to play. because the middle game attack flows like very, very nicely. But to be honest, I feel like I haven't had like that much experience playing these new weapons yet. So my favorites might change over time. Oh no, my opponent. It maybe lost connection. Yeah, I was more, I don't say scared, but I was trying to calculate f6 instead of taking. Bishop h6. Okay, so this is a bit unexpected. I do have f6. Knight d4 also comes to mind. Just a useful move with the knight. This blocks the pawn, unleashes the rook. Opponent's having some connection issues. And one plan might be to play rook g1 and rook a f1. Use the kingside files. I'm also kind of fantasizing about lines where, let's say I play e6, we trade rooks, and then the very end, maybe some bishop d8 ideas can still exist. Maybe unlikely to happen, but it's a cool concept to keep in mind. So we see rook e8. So e6 take. Guess I just take back. There's actually not too many ways to defend the pawn. And taking also comes to mind to open the file. Let's go for this. Actually, if black tries to sack, I don't have to take it. I could play bishop d8 there. Oh, but then I lose my queen, knight g3. But maybe it's a queen sack. I willingly allow that. Bishop d8, knight g3, take. Looks risky. Queen g4 might be a better move. Also, queen f3 doesn't really threaten anything. Bishop covers f8, rook covers f7. And taking is also an option, but I don't like giving away the knight. Such a good piece in the position. Bishop d8, knight g3, take. Let's play queen g4. King is still safe, as long as the bishop is blocked. Very hard to attack. f2 is always covered. I'm attacking the rook twice, also still threatening this. Wow. Now I can take... think this is okay. It's a clever move, though. Take, d4, king there, bishop there. Knight g4. I think it's okay. Oh, I have bishop f2. Yeah, this should be totally fine. It's calculating takes, d4 check, king g1, bishop e3, and the bishops are scary. But bishop f2 just defends everything. Yeah, opponent's offline again. So I might win on time. The rook and knight are also both attacked. Not quite mating. Rook f8 is coming. Okay. GG. Interesting game. Eventually I did get this kingside attack, and black was a little bit slow to do anything on the queen side. Yeah, when we got to this position, I think f6 would have been the critical line, preventing me from playing f6 and then creating a lot of chaos with the pawns. I wasn't sure how I was going to react. Although the engine just says taking is the best move. Oh, e takes. And then rook e8, wow. f6? Oh, there's a pin. Oh, so I could have been in trouble if black found this. I guess my pawns are more weak than they are strong. Wow, so this position, engine still likes black. I didn't play bishop d8 because this looked scary. It's a playable line, though, for both sides. Okay, black should have played this. I'm actually very surprised the engine says black is like clearly better. So I thought white is still doing well. I guess I am down a pawn, though. And this knight's very stable. It's hard to make threats. And taking was also possible. There's a question in chat, what about takes, and rook f6? That's interesting. Rook f6. There might be queen h3. Let's check with engine. Yeah, queen h3 might actually be a big problem. Because then this and this are hit. I didn't really look much further. Like after takes, I just saw that the black has like very good harmony with the pieces. So I think we'll keep moving on. We'll play a few more games. Going forward, I think I do prefer blitz just to get in more games. So we'll do a random challenge. Definitely not correspondence. This is this is correspondence chess. So sorry to my opponent. Let's try another one. Okay, this is casual blitz. The big rating differential here. Yeah, for those challenging me, do make sure the game is does have a time control, like 5 minutes or less. Yeah, correspondence game could take many days or weeks to finish. Oh no, my opponent. Okay, I might abort this one as well. I saw the green circle flash there for a moment, but let's move on. I guess I could leave this game open in a new tab though, and just yeah, let's just leave that open and accept a different challenge. This could turn into a simul. Okay, this game is still open. E6 is still pre-moved. Yeah, we have another Dutch attack. Oh hey, it's Nemo. How's it going, Nemo? Thanks for the raid. If you're just joining, I'm playing chess.
You could stream for days or weeks.
Oh,
We're
yes.
okay with that.
I've been streaming for an hour and 16 minutes so far. There was some mention of Nemo earlier. I played someone who lost to Nemo in 16 moves. And I tried to beat them quicker, but I only managed to win in 28 moves. So Nemo can be more deadly sometimes. Okay, we have a Stonewall here. Castling was maybe too early, actually. I think it's still played eventually in these in these lines. Yeah, the plan is going to be Queen E7, maneuver the bishop. Bishop wants to come to H5. Is 5 plus 3 okay? Yeah, 5-3 is still blitz. That's totally fine. It's maybe the slowest form of blitz, but I'm good with that. Opponent's playing well for the rating. And very solid, very common setup for white. There might be some cases where I want to play this and this. I'm going to start with knight d7, just discouraging this. Okay, f4 makes less sense now. But g5 also doesn't make much sense.
Great
Bishop
content
h5.
as always. Thanks, Eric.
Oh, thank you, Mammon. Also, thank you, Niggle. Appreciate the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Yeah, again, if you're just joining, I'm playing a new opening repertoire. I was taught recently by a strong grandmaster. And we have, we have a very, very typical position for the Stonewall. I've pretty much solved the problem of the sad bishop. This bishop still isn't the happiest piece, but it's definitely less sad compared to c8. And now it's time to attack. g5. Sometimes attack against this setup is a bit slower. I have to be a bit more patient, a bit more gradual. Oh, thank you, JPB. Gifting 5. Appreciate that. Wow, f4. So if I play g4, then things really close down. The drawback of f4 is a pawn can't move backwards.
Rosen, no mercy against viewers today with new lines. Smile, enjoy the
Oh,
stream.
yes. Oh, thank you, Wooston Eagle. The 6-month subscriber, too. Also, thank you, Superman, first-time subscriber. Is there a stone theme? Should I change my theme to stone? Or whenever I play the Stonewall? Also, this knight might be returning to the center. H6 maybe is the move. Queen G7. Also taking. Taking might actually make the most sense. Because then the knight can't come to E5 if it doesn't exist. Yeah, the best way to solve your problems is to make your problems non-existent. Queen G7. Align with the king. Maybe prepare this. Oh, thank you, Anonymous. Also gifting 5. I appreciate the generosity. There's a question. Have you ever played the Norwegian Rat? And Automod did not like the comment, including the word rat. I have played it, but it's been a long time. It's not an opening I really got into. Another case, which pawn to take with? Feels more natural to take with the F pawn. Open the F file. Knight F6. Keeping this pawn tension. Oh, thanks for the bits as well. Again, I really appreciate it. I wanted to maybe get the knight in. In this case, and there's h5 to prepare this. King h8. Taking also comes to mind, but then white can kind of do similar things. But then I lift a rook. Okay, I'm going to start with king h8. I think this is the most flexible. And now let's take, because there's a pin. This is not the move I want to play, but it's solid. Gives a rook some purpose in life. Is there an opening called the Capybara? Not that I know of, at least officially. I feel like there's a lot of unofficial opening names. But we can use a Lichess opening tool to search the name. Okay, I really want to win the pawn. But winning the pawn actually opens the diagonal, so maybe not even worth trying. But actually kind of a cool move, knight d7. Attacking this and this. That defends the rook, so what to do? Rook f6 to h6 perhaps. I do like the position still. The pieces all have ways to improve on the king side. Let's play this. Sneakily threatening to win a pawn. G-pawn is pinned. And now this pawn's attacked. Yeah, now white's whole position is crumbling. how to finish things. Queen d2. My king is still safe, I think. Where's my mate? Yeah, everything working together. Oh no, white's queen. Okay. The only way to save the queen was to resign at that moment. Okay, GG. Another example of the Dutch attack. Stonewall formation. Got some nice structure. But it was kind of a slow build-up. Like, took some time to start making threats. Oh, I missed. I could have won the pawn sooner. Bishop takes f4. Okay, let's quickly do this search for capybara. Capybara. No. It's not even an opening in Scrabble because it's 8 letters. I think there is a squirrel, which is a variation of the Alekhine. Not the best opening, but it does exist. The squirrel is e4, knight f6, this, and then after c4, there's knight f4. The squirrel. And in 250 games, white played knight e2, which is the worst possible move. But then the funny thing is, only 10% of those games, black found the winning move, knight d3 checkmate. This has to be an anomaly where like the checkmate in one is played like less than, not even like the second or the second most common, but the 5th most common. That's insane. Even g5 is more common. If black doesn't checkmate, then white's better too. Squirrels have pretty low IQ. I thought squirrels were more intelligent than like the average animal. Because they plan ahead for the whole winter. They bury their nuts. They hibernate. It might depend on the squirrel though. Anyway, moving on. Another random challenge. Playing bovineck. Again, I'm playing e3 to get a reverse French or reverse Dutch. But I think every game today has been some form of Dutch, like either Stonewall or the setup with the fianchetto. Oh, opponent is playing mind games. I mean, I guess I could just play this. And we might have a double Dutch. Oh, my opponent sent me a message. I'm not showing game chat just to respect privacy. But my opponent says, "Oh no, my heart rate." Let me turn on my heart rate. See how my heart is doing. All right, let's throw in the check. Again, when black plays this move, then the pawn can't move here, so bishop b5 is more justified. Okay, heart rate is nice. Bishop b2 is coming. Okay, I want to attack. But how? Probably makes sense to just prepare to bring the knight in. I'm not in any rush to castle.
Loving the French attack opening.
Oh, good to hear. Also, hopefully the Dutch attack. Thank you, Yasser89. Happy 3 months. Okay, we're getting some harmony with the minor pieces. Opponent's maybe going for c4, which I think I'll just ignore. I think c4 might be threatening this, but then bishop d4. So this is 5-0 rated blitz. No increment. Maybe some dirty flag potential. c4 is played. Yeah, I definitely don't want to allow this to shut down my bishop. So I'll play bishop d4. Just some happy centerpieces. Opponent wants the bishop trade. That's hard to avoid. I might not easily get my attack that I want. Trading doesn't really do much. I mean, trading bishops and then castling and then... Yeah, I don't think I want to allow the double pawns. Let's go for the bishop trade. So we have a bishopless position. Ooh. c3 attacking the phantom bishop. I'm actually happy to see this move, because now the pawn's a target. Black could play this. But there's never going to be any big pressure on the c-file. And I can focus on the king side now. Maybe it was worth including a3, but then a5, and it doesn't change too much. Considering threatening checkmate. And then h6. I don't want to trade queens. Queen h5. This is some attempt to induce g6 to then have this. Queen h3 was the other option, but there might be cases where I want to rook lift.
Watching you, I might dream I am a GM.
Oh yes. I dream that sometimes too. Welcome back to Hark here. Happy 72 months. Okay, so the queen has found itself on h3. Now the plan is to storm the g-pawn. I do wonder how many people have fallen asleep watching the stream so far. Twitch and YouTube don't tell me these analytics. Oh yeah, 72 months is 6 years. That's a lot of years. Maybe I should have taken the pawn. Because we're about to trade more knights. Unless I retreat, which I don't want to do. Okay, queen h5 back. The idea is basically to set up the rook lift, and I also prevent queen g5. Now the f file is open. So rook f3 will prepare the rook lift, but also rook af1. And g6 attacks, but creates some weaknesses. Good game so far, though. Opponent's playing well for the rating. Wow, joined 8 years ago, but only plays blitz. Ooh. Rook f6, lose a pawn. Rook f1. Not sure. There's e4. Rook f6 takes. Ah, that's interesting. Actually, rook f3 might just be much better. I wanted to prevent f6, but I have rook af1 in response to pin. And now this is... Yeah, this is kind of painful for black. Am I mating, though? Maybe not. It might actually be better to play rook f1 first. Because here, the king escapes. I take the pawn with check, there's king c6. Let's play this first. I'm getting low on time, but I'm threatening mate in 2 now. It's hard for black to stop. Okay, GG. I think my opponent was doing fine if, like even in this position, it does look scary, but if f6 is played, then it's hard for white to keep the attack. Yeah, white's only slightly better after f6. Yeah, much closer to equal. Okay, GG. There's a forced mate. Oh, I missed mate in 13. Wait, mate in 17. Rook f1 is still one way to force mate. So queen c7, take here. Ah, taking on g6. Okay. Okay, GG. I have 41 pending challenges. Let's do some more. E3. Good luck to Ricciardi. I'm still waiting for this opponent to move. I accepted this challenge like half hour ago, maybe. Oh, hey, we have a reverse French. So we might have the reverse exchange variation, which could just transpose into the normal exchange variation. But this is a reverse advance variation. So did I play this, or did I go for this idea of like trading off the bad bishop? C4 is probably the best move. So let's play it. I'm ditching this idea. I don't think it's justified here. Thank you to Bioside J. Happy 11 months. Okay, so we have a We have an advanced French, but I'm up a tempo, so this should be decent for white. Hey, thank you to Danny. I'll read the comment in just a moment. So there's takes and takes. Might actually be better to try and get the knight to f4. I'm going to play knight h3. Knight e2 is also possible, but then it blocks the bishop, allows takes. Knight h3 aims to play knight f4. a5, wow. a4 is kind of off limits. Let's keep applying pressure. So Danny says, I love the content, was wondering if you'd ever be interested in doing some drawback chess. I went through a phase of playing drawback chess maybe about a year ago. I haven't played in a while though. I did and still probably would enjoy it, so thanks for reminding me that it still exists. Definitely be open to it. Probably not the stream, but definitely in a future stream. Okay, this should win a pawn. Queen a5, I can retreat. There's takes and b5, but then bishop takes f7. Should be pretty good for white. Yeah, so I got away with winning a pawn. There's still this pressure against the center pawn. I guess I am threatening to take, even though my knight's pinned. Okay, maybe black will throw in this move. So take and then take and then take and then... Let's play bishop d2. Just unpin, align with a queen, threatening this stuff. Oh, thank you, Harkir, who has not fallen asleep yet. Unless you're, like, sleep gifting subs, if that's possible. Appreciate the 5 gifted. Yeah, life is pretty good here. Like a dream French scenario. I'm not even dreaming. Up a pawn, got the pressure. Black lost some time. But am I winning the center pawn? Because takes... Oh, can I be fancy and take here, threatening this? But then knight takes back, threatens this. Considering g3, but then there's g5. Huh. G3, g5. I kind of feel like sacking now. Take. I'm allowing this. And then I'm going to decide. Like, do I want to go completely insane? Let's do it. It's probably not good, but it looks fun. Because if the bishop saves itself, then I take here, threatening this and this. I already have 2 pawns for the piece. Also, it passed midnight 13 minutes ago. At least for me. US Central Time. Happy Monday. We're officially 1 day away from Title Tuesday. Over 700 people watching on YouTube, but only 116 likes. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube and you're not asleep, hit that like button. Unless you're watching on a TV. I guess if you're watching on the TV, then it's harder to like click the button, depending on the TV interface. Also, again, yeah, let me know where you're watching from. There's got to be more, like, maybe more Australian viewers. I see D something mate from Adelaide, Australia. Danny, California with a super chat. Thanks so much. So Black's giving back the piece, which I don't mind. I could take with bishop or pawn. I'll take with bishop. Thank you, B-dubs. First time sub. I don't have to take this. Taking actually helps Black develop. Let's be aggressive. Pin the knight. If takes, I'll have another attacker. Got Ashland, Missouri, Minnesota, Utah, California, Minnesota. A lot of US states. Canada. Thankfully, a non-US state. Got Russia, Philly, Amsterdam, Germany, Zimbabwe, New Jersey. Take. Okay, probably time to castle. But then knight g4. There's no increment. I should probably move quicker. Want to play bishop g3 and harass the queen.
Idaho.
Oh, Idaho, nice. Okay, let's just move back. I really gotta watch my time. Because there's no increment. I have 14 seconds left. Alright, let's switch into ultra bullet mode. Attack the knight. Attack the knight again. Is there going to be enough time? It's dangerously close. Okay. Hey, I got my heart rate to 100. I think that's the first time this stream. Final position should be a draw. That was casual, so no rating was on the line. I got slightly distracted by everyone telling me where they're from. Oh man. Let's get my heart rate down. Also, I completely forgot I have iced tea, which is no longer having ice in it. More like room temperature tea. Got Vietnam, Guam, North Carolina. Got a few people from Australia. Finland, Orlando. Yeah, watered down tea. Still good. Obesity says, my heart rate went over 100 watching that. It'd be cool to have like some plug-in where I have like the average heart rate of my viewers and then see like um who has a higher heart rate, like me playing the games or viewers watching the games. It should be possible to like create such an extension, like for anyone that has a smartwatch, like Fitbit or Apple Watch. Anyway, let's do a few more. Playing Pantalamon. Pantalimon? This is 3+3. There's a question if I'm visiting Denmark anytime soon. No upcoming plans. I don't actually have any specific trips planned in the near future. Oh, hey, we have a French. This time, a normal French. Advanced variation. So now I'll play this tricky idea it was taught to me by Avati Gregorian. There's a whole course on this on Chessmood. Chessmood covers the whole repertoire for black. But the idea is to trade off the bad bishop and then do the French things. So the rook has entered the game without moving. These are usually considered good double pawns. Very often black can play c6. We'll start with knight d7. Knight has a nice square on b6 to come to. There's a question, have you ever visited Australia/New Zealand? I've never been to New Zealand, but I have been to Australia a few times. First visited in 2017, and then the following year, 2018. Went to Brisbane, Adelaide, Melbourne, and Sydney. Had a very nice time. All right, this other knight is coming to f5. Thank you, Bob Valentine. Yeah, since this is a new account, I don't know if my opponent's like complete beginner or strong player. But so far they're playing very normally, like no major mistakes. I'm still happy with my position. I can lunge right away with like g5, g4. I could also be patient, like play c6 and kind of chill. Not showing my cards just yet. Okay, now I think it's time. Play g5. In the lesson, it's on YouTube, we did cover exactly this setup. Like, we mainly covered when white just moves the king back and forth and doesn't do anything, but this whole setup for black is basically the ideal plan. The king can actually go to d7, so the queen can come in. I think I'd like to start with h5 and just prepare the break with g4. Any plans to come back to Adelaide? I would like to someday. But again, no specific plans. Hopefully sometime in the next like 5 to 10 years. Maybe sooner. Okay, white gets in some pawn break. Let's counter pawn break. Making a bigger threat. Question about my favorite US state. I haven't been to Hawaii. I feel like Hawaii would probably be up there. Trying to think. I spent like a week or two in Montana several years ago. And basically surrounded by nature, very open. Visited Yellowstone National Park, which I think ended up crossing into the Wyoming, crossing the border into Wyoming. But Montana would definitely be up there, just in terms of the nature. The sky feels bigger there. Got to meet some alpacas. So take. Again, I have to watch my time. I'm going to play king d7. I want the queen to come in. I am allowing this capture, and then I think I just fully focus on the king side. It looks fun. And it's kind of a pawn sacrifice, like takes. But every pawn lost is a file opened. Yeah, rook c1, I have rook c8. It is kind of risky though, because king side's a bit weak, c6 is a target. But g2 is also a target. Yeah, it's such a feel-good move. Knight takes g3. And if takes back, it's made in 2. Yeah, no mercy there. So that worked out quite nicely. Got exactly what the Grandmaster taught me. King d7, queen g8, pawn storm and checkmate. So, yeah, maybe objectively it was still okay for white. But white has to play precisely. So here, yeah, white has to do something on the king side. Engine likes this, and then take, and then g3. And then the bishop helps prevent any knight sacrifice. Still looks scary because there's h4, but then g4, wow. Okay, it's getting late. I'm also getting tired, which maybe people can see based on my heart rate. So I was just below 60 there, which means bedtime is approaching. Let's do one more. Playing Nitin Saini. Also, let me abort this game before I forget. Opponent's not moving. Okay. This opponent's offline. So I guess I'll abort and play one final game. Yeah, it's very common with these streams when people challenge me and then maybe forget they have an active challenge. Oh no, my opponents. Give it a few more moments. Okay, let's try again. Oh, playing Obese Reese. Okay, we've played many, many times before. The strongest player I've played thus far. I don't think I've ever played this. I definitely have not played this opening against Obese Reese. Good luck. Have fun. Knight d2. Okay. So we'll play this line. Yeah, I faced this, I think, in Title Tuesday recently. I'm supposed to play a5. But now I forgot what to do. The b6? I know I'm not supposed to play f6. Maybe it's bishop e7? Okay, let's just invent something. b6, bishop a6. Get rid of my bad bishop. Maybe plant a knight here eventually. Feels wrong, but... Bishop e7 first. Actually, let's play this. Knight no longer has purpose with the stuff there. Obesity seems prepared, though. I didn't want to commit to this, allowing this. Yeah, not really doing much attacking. Maybe I have this now, and then h5. Looks risky. Okay, the knight's going to maneuver it this way. I'm kind of operating in a cramped space. It's like living in one of those micro studio apartments in New York City. Basically like, what, 10 square feet? Just enough space for maybe a bed. I don't think I'll be castling this game. Okay, I want to trade queens. Or maybe use a c-file. The nice thing is it's hard for white to attack. Although this might be a move. There. Yeah, what to do? Castle there, take. Let's play this. Still kind of getting squeezed. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Getting this. Time is very low, though. I'm threatening this to trap the rook. Also defending this. That's a good move. It's a very good move. That didn't really work. I'm losing all my queenside pawns. Try and sneak in with my queen. This could be a close finish. Oh no, my queen! Good game. Good game. I wasn't rated though. I was not farmed. GG. Oh no, my French attack. Got crazy towards the end there. This is a very sneaky discover check. Heart rate is back over 100. I don't think was I ever... Possible I was never, like, better this game. Maybe some chances to perpetual. To be honest, when I played Queen C7, I thought this was a great move to trap the rook. It was actually a big mistake. And earlier... I should check the theory here. I think knight b3 is one of the best lines. Which most players don't play unless, like, the player has prepared this. In Title Tuesday, I played f6, and this walks into bishop b5, and white's doing very well. So a5, a4, b6. This is probably a question I'll have to ask Avatik. I wonder if Chessmood covers this. They do expand on the repertoire, but I'm not sure if they go this broad. Anyway, good game, Obese Reese. Good games to all my opponents. Oh yeah, I said earlier that I would I would share a little bit about my Scrabble tournament. I played my second ever Scrabble tournament yesterday, in-person Scrabble tournament, and I managed to win it with 7 out of 7. I was not wearing my heart rate monitor. I don't even know if wearing like smartwatches are allowed during Scrabble play. But it was super fun. In a future stream, I might have to come better prepared to share my games. I did input my games digitally. Try to take away some lessons. And I might be playing, there's a good chance I'll play, there's a big tournament coming to St. Louis end of July. It's called the Word Cup, which I think it's likely I'll sign up for. So that might be my next tournament, like between chess and Scrabble. Probably due for one more Scrabble tournament before the next chess tournament. Apologies to everyone who has been waiting for a game, who sent a challenge, but yeah, it's impossible to get through all of the challenges. They just keep coming. Oh, how's it going, Chess Bunzo? Yeah, if you're just arriving, the stream is nearing its end. I'm getting kind of tired. There's a question, how do you train for Scrabble? I play a lot online. I play on woogles.io, which is basically the Lichess of Scrabble. There's also a site I use for like spaced repetition studying. It's aerolith.org. It's kind of like a free version of Chessable, but for learning words. It's actually very useful. Anyway, yeah, it's it's bedtime. So thanks again. Good game again to Obese Reese. And I'll probably do another stream tomorrow. Maybe a more serious, like Title Tuesday preparation stream. So do stay tuned and see you guys soon. Adios.